Imagine waking up tomorrow to find your fiercest competitor isn't a bigger brand, but a smarter AI. Ready or not, that future is here. I was watching an interview I came across on X between the CEO of Intelligent World, Ronald van Loon, and a former enterprise CTO at Microsoft, Norm Judah, with a core statement that every company is an AI company. And I'll share this with you in the notes below this video. And what I was really surprised about that, recording this in the early months of 2025, was this interview about every company being an AI company was from 6 years ago, pre-ChatGPT. And certainly in the regions I work in, customers here in Australia, we've got a number of companies who have adopted and embraced AI, and in the broader sense around what AI is, not just the generative AI, but things like machine learning. I wouldn't say that was mainstream 6 years ago here, and I'd even dare say it's not even mainstream today. But the essence of that statement, that every company is an AI company, couldn't be further from the truth. So let me just unpack what that kind of means and what I was thinking about. We've had the transformation with the internet age, right? There's classic use cases of companies like Kodak that didn't innovate, stayed with their analog media, and they're still around, but they certainly lost all the market share, and now they have some specialty things. But pretty much went out of business for the better. Now we've got the digital age, the internet. We've got ability to collect data more so than ever. I was talking about 6 years ago around the where every company is collecting data and using data. I'll jump more to the moment, but AI is now part of those foundational layers. You've got to be digital, be using your data, collecting data more so than ever, and applying it with AI. Those foundational layers are becoming important to stay relevant. Now, what I was referring to from a while ago around why a term that was being used and still used today around data is the new oil. It's probably in the last 5 to 10 years where we've certainly said that using your data in new and creative ways will give you a competitive edge, whether it's sales, whether it's service, how productive your employees are, the products you offer. And really it's around question is, how do you use AI to do that? How do we tap into that vast amount of data resource that we've hopefully been collecting and using and apply AI to that? And I think that's where I observe a lot of companies are kind of trying to work out now. Because once you've got insights and across that and can take action, this will start giving you competitiveness, the ability to compete against others who are already doing this. Or if they're not doing it, they'll be doing it very soon. You don't want to be in one of these companies like a Kodak that will potentially lose market share and fade off into existence. So becoming an AI company is going to need to be core to how you operate. And the impact this has is it's going to transform the workforce. It's already transforming the workforce. Tools like Microsoft Copilot or ChatGPT used in enterprise settings are already changing the way that we are productive from a personal point of view. Then AI is becoming more mainstream to the processes we have currently or being embedded into the products we have. I mean, if you use any sort of streaming content, the video you're watching now was probably recommended to you, if you weren't searching for explicitly, recommended to you based on patterns you are searching on and looking at. Netflix is another example. They invest a lot of time, energy, money into their algorithms that present relevant content to keep people engaged on their platforms. Social media, another prime example. But in the B2B sort of, context, that transformation of the workforce is taking away not necessarily the roles, but taking away some of those mundane activities, repetitiveness, and transforming the way we can create greater value activities out of the people we have. So doing more with what we have. I'm not saying there won't be any impacts to people and jobs because of AI. We saw that when computers came along in the 80s and 90s. Certainly my family is impacted by that. And AI will have a play, but I think we need to think about how does AI support what we're doing to help us become an AI company. And the other change that's happened in the last, not only is it things like generative AI and, again, I'll refer back to ChatGPT, but really what OpenAI has done and brought to market sort of products. We've got the technology, we've got ability to store data in the cloud and lots of it, and access to tools that were really, unless you were a data scientist and knew how to use, some of these tools now become more accessible, that we can use using natural language to be able to give us these benefits like productivity, for example. And so it's not just those who can afford it or have big budgets, but every company can now access AI at all sizes. So every organization, and I talk a lot about commercial entities, but this goes for education and I guess government organizations, public sector organizations, can all benefit from AI to do more with what they have, or create new ways of doing things, get more value out of the service you deliver. So amongst all that, it comes with governing an AI company, with obviously the tech and the data is really important, but what other organizational changes are needed? Well, we're going to be things like the governance around these systems. So we're going to manage these. It's not just let it loose or have people creating these ad hoc. Like, how do we actually ensure we have ethical behavior built in, the right biases, or removal of biases, responsible AI practices, transparent AI practices, and how do we manage it? How do we manage it? How do we become compliant to ensure that we're using AI in relevant, compliant ways? So there's a massive change, not just technology, but how we operate as a business. Now, I guess just to round this out, I think the key part of what I want to convey is the time to act is now. Act now so that you become an AI company. So what are things you could be doing around that? Well, you can start adopting technologies, using these if you're not using them already. If you are not using them, you've probably got employees who are using it for some way, shape or form inside your organization. Or you might be just using it a small bit. Experiment, right? Create the right, mechanisms, safe environments for you to experiment, try things out. Obviously, data protection, data governance is extremely important. Customer information is really important to protect, but look for ways you can experiment, perhaps with other parts of your process that aren't so sensitive to that, really lightweight ways to get started. A lot of organizations are working through their use cases or have worked through use cases and now trying to look at how do we do things. And these organizational changes are coming some of the barriers that are slowing people down. But experiment, prepare yourself, get these things in place. Your guidelines, how you're going to use AI in your business. Look at what technology platforms, part of experimenting, preparing, and make sure that AI is a cornerstone of your business strategy. Because if you don't have, like we've seen with the internet becoming digital, increasing use of relying on data for data-driven decision making and foundations of truth and so forth, AI is now a foundational layer, and you need to include that in your strategy. So are you prepared to integrate AI into your strategy? So don't wait till it's too late. Start exploring AI solutions today that can help transform your company, your business, your entity. And look forward to how you become an AI company and maintain relevancy for the people you serve, whether it's your customers, your stakeholders, going forward.